Hi, folks. I haven't heard from my men, which usually means they're in court, except I've heard from them brain to brain, and I heard brain to brain that we have defeated the Jew clones. But there is a debate right now about who is the leader of Israel, because I installed myself as the Empress. I believe that because of the last video I made, that a majority of the Jews in Israel have become Christians. But there is a very vocal minority who feel that a born again Christian should not be the Jewish leader. However, I am from King David, Israel. Genetically, I am thoroughly qualified to be the Empress. Anyways, I'll just state right up front that as a leader, political leader, I believe in freedom of speech, press, and religion. And you are free to be an atheist, agnostic, Jewish worshiper, Muslim, or whatever, under my rule, as long as you're not a terrorist. I have no problems. So don't judge me by my faith, and I won't judge you by yours, okay? So as long as you behave yourself and you don't hurt people, I don't care what you believe. You can believe whatever you want. And you should feel the same about me. Okay. I wrote some new law, so I'm just going to go ahead and read it. New clones to be executed by scanners and more about procedures for Jesuit coups. Section 9.01. In May 2017, Jesuit clone Lori McBride took over the nation of Israel using clone switchouts with Jew clones. This resulted in a worldwide emergency which required a new cocky to wipe out all Jew clones in Israel who were running the government, like Benjamin Netanyahu was in limbo and replaced with his Jesuit Jew clone. 9.01a. For the purpose of conspiracy law, a Jew clone is defined as a clone of a Jewish person created by Jesuits for the purpose of violating conspiracy law. A nucaki is a nuclear bomb that uses semen as part of the nuclear explosion to destroy enemies. The nucaki was originally created by Jesuit leader Zack Knight, who's now on Gail Chord Schuler's side. A new clone is any clone that has been created at or after the time that Jew clones were created by Lori McBride to take over the nation of Israel. Basically, it's any clone created after March 25th, 17. 9.02. All new clones must be destroyed by clone scanners effective May 2nd, 2017, in all conspiracy law honoring nations. A clone scanner is a scanner that will execute new clones on the spot and will also destroy any robots, automatons, or other versions of human beings besides clones that are a violation of conspiracy law, with a special focus on new robots, automatons, and other human representations. We need to differentiate between new clones and clones because some older clones are coming to our side, and we don't want to execute a clone who has gotten right. It's pretty safe to assume that all clones created after March 2017 will be evil because Jesuit Lori McBride has created that clone, and all clones she creates have been evil. Zack Knight reformed Jesuits are no longer creating clones. All conspiracy law honoring nations must have clone scanners that honor this section 9.02 and conspiracy law installed in every part of the country, and most especially areas that determine finances, banks, the entertainment industry, health and medicine, religious leaders, and most especially religious leaders who represent the majority of the nation and the political arenas of the country, so that new clones cannot survive in any conspiracy law honoring nation. All new clones are aged using accelerated growth hormones to make them look much older than they really are. The actual age of the clone for the purpose of conspiracy law is the age of the clone from the time he or she was created in the lab, regardless of their age according to accelerated growth hormones. 9.02a. It is a death penalty violation of conspiracy law to create any clone effective May 2nd, 2017. due to the inherent evil DNA of clones. It is detrimental to the welfare of humanity to allow clones to be created. All cloning labs must be destroyed at once when discovered, and anybody who creates a cloning lab willingly and knowingly, or who willingly and knowingly cooperates with the creation of clones, will receive the death penalty as a Jesuit conspirator. A cloning lab is any place where clones are created. 9.03. Each clone scanner must be equipped with an alarm that will go off and alert government headquarters, the men on Gail's marriage list, and the Leadership Integrity Corps. Go up to the top of this document, which I'm going to post a link to underneath my video to understand what some of these terms mean, like the Leadership Integrity Corps. And when the clone scanner has stopped working in accordance with conspiracy law, willing and knowing failure to create the clone scanners to have this alarm and for it to work according to conspiracy law will bring the death penalty as a Jesuit conspirator to that violator. Clone scanners, including the shield around the earth as part of the clone scanner network, must be tested every hour by clone scanner testers, and for each test, the tester or testers must state under 666 computer lie detection and emotion reads that the clone scanners are working in accordance with conspiracy law. Clone scanners must be installed in every part of the country so that no new clone can survive in that conspiracy law honoring nation. Any gaps in coverage done willingly and knowingly that allows new clones to survive will bring the death penalty as a Jesuit conspirator to that violator. Because of clone scanners, it is anticipated that new clones will retreat to the depths of space to escape the clone scanners. All conspiracy law honoring nations must militarily attack the space fleets and militaries of those who lead the new clones, making it impossible or hard for them to create new clones. A shield must be placed around planet Earth powered by all conspiracy law honoring nations that destroys new clones inside their Jesuit spaceships if they try to cross the shield. And if it is unable to do this because of shields around the Jesuit spaceships, will then destroy the Jesuit spaceship. This shield is considered part of the clone scanner network. Because of space technology, in order for conspiracy law honoring nations to adequately protect themselves from new clones, it is necessary to have this shield. In the meanwhile, we cannot allow new clones to have a space fleet or military. Their space fleet must be continually attacked and, if possible, destroyed. All conspiracy law honoring nations are required to participate in this military venture, and if they refuse to do so, they cannot be a conspiracy law honoring nation. When and if we militarily destroy the space fleet, not to be confused with the reformed Jesuit space fleet, we will then no longer need to coordinate attacks on the Jesuit space fleet or military. But the shield around the Earth to destroy new clones should remain in case the Jesuits revamp their space fleet in secret. As of May 2017, the conspiracy law honoring nations are Russia, the United States, Israel, all communist and former communist nations, some Muslim countries, and about 80% of the world. It appears that those who are not part of our network are some Muslim countries that are headed up by Jesuits. Gail Chord Schuler is the Empress of all these nations, but delegates her responsibilities to acting heads of state who honor her conspiracy law. However, if any of these nations suffers a Jesuit coup, she immediately becomes the acting Empress of that nation and can install a leader if she so desires in order to defeat the Jesuit coup. If a coup happens, she has the right to militarily attack that nation in order to overcome the coup. The attack cannot be contested in the courts as long as conspiracy law was honored in the attack. The only courtroom debate about the attack can revolve around whether conspiracy law was honored. Once that is settled, no more legal debate is allowed. We want the focus to be on good government, not on arguing with Jesuit jackasses in the courtroom. Those countries that don't like this cannot be part of our conspiracy law network. 9.04, as a reminder, a Jesuit under conspiracy law is defined as a Jesuit or ex-Jesuit who follows a leader who opposes conspiracy law. Though Gail has become a Jesuit and calls her church the Gail Chord Schuler Jesuits, she and Zack Knight are no longer Jesuits according to conspiracy law. To eliminate confusion over how to interpret conspiracy law, rather than replace the term Jesuit with another term to indicate evil Jesuits, we shall just redefine the term. Those Jesuits who honor conspiracy law, like Zack Knight and Gail Chord Schuler, will be called Reformed Jesuits under conspiracy law. Under conspiracy law, the term Jesuit refers to Jesuits who oppose conspiracy law, like the Lori McBride Jesuits. 9.05. No clone of any kind can hold public office in a conspiracy law honoring nation. When and if this occurs, it's grounds for an immediate military attack on that nation who has a clone leader, especially if the clone leader is a head of state. To overcome the illegitimate coup which has taken place and to restore to that nation its conspiracy law honoring leader. Clone DNA is inherently evil, making it very dangerous to have a clone leader. Any willing or knowing attempt or action to install a clone as head of state or in any public office of a conspiracy law honoring nation will bring the death penalty as a Jesuit conspirator to that violator. 9.06. In the event a Jesuit coup takes place and an evil Jesuit now rules a former conspiracy law honoring nation, that nation will be put under martial law, and Gail Chord Schuler or another conspiracy law president will immediately be installed as that country's head of state. They'll have the right and power to militarily attack the country if need be, to retake that country for conspiracy law, even if they are not able to contact Gail to warn her of their actions. The legitimacy of the conspiracy law leader cannot be contested in the courts as long as conspiracy law was honored in the installation of the leader who prevented a Jesuit coup, and the fate of that nation will be decided militarily. Jesuits love to use the legal systems to manipulate their way to power, and we won't allow this. All nations that agree to join our alliance of conspiracy law honoring nations understand this and understand the need for strong leadership at a time when a Jesuit coup takes place. We won't allow Jesuits to undermine that leadership in a time of emergency. Those nations that don't agree to this section 9.06 cannot be a conspiracy law honoring nation. However, to be fair to the people, after the coup is resolved, an election will take place to officially, in accordance with conspiracy law, install the new conspiracy law honoring leader, or the leader can decide to return the leadership to the former conspiracy law honoring head of state. But what caused the coup must be analyzed and those responsible publicly executed on the Gabriel Chana Fox News Channel 00 on cable as a lesson to any future coup plotters. The coup plotters can only go to court to decide their innocence or guilt in accordance with conspiracy law in regard to the coup, and can bring in no other legislation for debate in the courts in order to delay their execution. They are guilty of being Jesuit conspirators and trying to overthrow a righteous government with an evil Jesuit one, which is a serious crime and can cause devastating harm to the world. We won't play games with these people. They die. 9.07. Any willing and knowing attempt or action to violate this Section 9 of this document in order to try and overthrow a conspiracy law honoring head of state or government, and to twist the law or try to interpret it in favor of Jesuits, not referring to Reformed Jesuits who are innocent, will bring the death penalty as a Jesuit conspirator to that violator. Under conspiracy law, guilt is determined by motive, which we can determine through brain and emotion reads, not by actions alone, which can easily be manipulated by evil Jesuits. So there it is, folks. Those are my newest laws. And I had to do this because we almost had a worldwide calamity. The Jew clones almost took over the world, and they were trying to overthrow me. That would be like having a bunch of Frankensteins ruling the world. So I've written new law to deal with that. Check the links under this page where the law has been posted. I post all my laws publicly for the world to see at my website.